welcome back to Blender Skin Live. In this episode, I want to talk about how I created this concept 3D model for a character that looks like a kangaroo wearing some kind of sumo clothing. I think the process is kind of interesting. So I'm using the yesterday method, which is basically from Blender Skin Modifier. As you can see, the character, if I subdivide it, so this is the one that got exported into Plasticity, and I'm using the skin modifier mirror. Let me tap Z and then go to wireframe, go to hit tab, go to edit mode. As you can see here, I can still modify the character, so I think it will be like very ideal if we can sort of have this, send it to Plasticity, and have all the procedures that's happening here applied to this character, because the topology is the same. But I don't know if that's possible. But for, I will probably it's best if I just build everything from scratch. I just like the fact that we can still work and push and pull areas like this. I mean, you can of course model the whole things inside Blender, just doing like normal modeling, or inside Plasticity you can do the same thing. You can build something like this using maybe pipe, or so it's kind of, this method is kind of somewhere in between box modeling, and then if you have some like basic box model here, you can send it to Plasticity, and then you start building things like the arm, like this is anything that's a little bit rounded and smooth, like a solid modeling, probably easier inside Plasticity because of the NURBS base. And the one that's a little bit more box modeling, you can do it inside Blender. So that's the main point. Let's actually build this from scratch. So I talked about this the other day. From box, you go to hit tab and then right click, merge vertices at center, and then go to, let's hit tilde, go to the front view, and we can start drawing our character. So it's very easy with skin modifier. You just make like a stick figure and then extrude, and you can easily create branches, right? For example, and it's a good idea to work from the front view, side view. I'll create the foot. Maybe, okay, I like to make my character maybe have ears and maybe like a nose. So I have these lines now. Let's save this. I'll call it Roo-X, like kangaroo. I could actually have like a tail for this character. Kangaroo is like a snail kind of tail. Okay, it doesn't look like anything at the moment, but I just mirror this character and then skin modifier. Now at the moment all the thickness is the same by default. I go to edit mode, still, now we can start reshaping our character. At any time you can add branches, like if you want to make like arm like that. So skin modifier is really powerful. I kind of wish Plasticity have something similar. Of course you cannot. This is like Blender thing, but who knows? Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you Control A, right? You select a point, Control A. You can also tap X or Y. That will reshape. You can reshape it. Yeah, maybe you're gonna get some weirdness happening sometimes. Maybe just keep it simple, no? Okay. The food, for example, Control A and then X. So it's flat. The tail. Yeah, I think that's probably good enough for our base. You can send it now. Export as IGES or OBJ. Level 1. Export. So yeah, in order to bring it into Plasticity, remember we need to use FreeCAD. So when you bring it into Plasticity, it's gonna be like NURBS. I still don't know how to export curves from Blender, so that's why I keep using Skin Modifier. So let's just open up our Roo-X model. File, export as step, and then open up Plasticity, F, import Plasticity Roo-X from the desktop. Okay, and then hit OK. It's a solid model. It's a solid 3D, and we can just work on this. Save as Roo-X. Okay, just call it rocks. Okay, let's see. So I like the fact that it's all like NURBS, right? And we can push and pull some areas. And I think we can, quickly select edges. Right, like rounded corner, things that Plasticity is very good at this. Make it rounded. Okay, let's see the top areas. Let's turn off the X-ray. So can do that, and we can actually select the face over here and we can push it in. It's pretty strange, unusual method of modeling. Okay, just make one ear. I don't know, things like what maybe let's see this face. So we can do that quite easily. Control 2, make it rounded. Hold options and it's gonna select the edge loop. Let's try something different. Option, click on the edge loop here. Control 2 or Control 3. We can do that. Control 2. Now after you make something like this, you can actually select just the face and then option click, you can select the areas. Pretty handy. Let's work on other part. Let's try this with the edge loop here. Just use the pipe. Sometimes I do this, just create like that kind of weird, unusual shapes. Okay, and I think that's kind of neat. Control 3. Control 3. Let's do that, you know, around that areas. Control 3 and just push it in or push it out. Control 2, make it rounded. So areas like this. Let's make the pants. Can we just bring it out? No. Just E, extrude, and then... Oh yeah, sometimes extrude doesn't work. In that case, Shift D. Now we have this sheet object and we can just add a thickness. So let me try again. Shift D, we have the sheet object and then we can add a thickness. Okay, now it's like two separate objects, the sheet and the solid. Control 2, make it round. Can I make this rounded? Okay, okay, that's a solid. We can join them back together. Just Q, and then now we have solid again. anyway, we have this kind of new pants areas for this character. This method of modeling probably is not very common. Maybe you don't need to take this type of modeling too seriously. Okay, but you can always do this. There's nothing wrong with it, trying something new. Okay, areas like this, I can just hit O. So inset, just like box modeling, you can do like inset, but we are doing it on this nerves Parasolid 3D model. So yeah, okay. You can always extrude. We have new areas to work with. Control 2. Make this rounded. This is good. It could be like 4 eyes. Oops, yeah. Plasticity does that sometimes. I don't know, maybe because I'm using macOS beta. Let's reopen. Hopefully I didn't lose anything. Yeah. I like that. This method, just select the face around and just push it in. I like that ability. Now we have like a mushroom finger. Oh, I cannot push that areas. Yeah, that's pretty strong, pretty weird kind of arms there. But it has certain aesthetic about it, right? It's unusual, but nothing wrong with this. See, I can extend some areas. It's cool. Oh. Here's delete that. And repatch. Patch hole. Sometimes that kind of rebuild the surface. In this case, Yeah, I think so. This is the sumo lawn cloth for the roofs. Okay. I'll make another ears doing the same thing. I intentionally made it non-symmetrical. Oh, we have a cool thing here. Maybe this can goes in, goes out. Extrude up. Yep. That's cool. It's not symmetrical. Oh well, you know, we have this topology. However, we try delete, patch the whole. Oh, so this is easier for plasticity to work with. Now we can just offset it. Hit all again. That's cool, the fact that I can just push it in, you know, for the neck areas. That makes this a little bit more believable. I don't know, probably at some point I need to send this back to Blender to add material, just to paint some areas. But inside Plasticity, I just like the fact that we can just, you know, quickly push in, push out some areas. Yeah, I know in Blender you can just extrude it in, and you know, it's polygon box modeling, but in this case it's NURBS, and I like NURBS. There's certain feels about it. NURBS and bevel, it's just amazing. It's pretty amazing tools. Okay, let's say I don't quite like some parts. If I want to build something new, let's say I decided, okay, I don't like these mushroom fingers from this camera angle. I just enable plane from cameras. Now my cameras is directly, our grid construction plane is facing the camera. Let's create a line. So this is like a quick method. There's probably a better way, but look, I'm just drawing like a box around it and then closed it, and now we have this, right? And we can have that. Now we have this solid, and I'm just gonna join them, you know. It's pretty crazy, maybe pretty crazy method, but we can easily blend it that way. Now we have a really big arm. Control R, you can make a cut. I'm bringing this back into the, you know, like, yeah, back to the thickness that we have now. But we have like a claw here now, right? You can use this as reference, maybe, yeah, if you want to make an actual claws. And then you have like a cylinder that goes in. I don't know, I'm just testing the ideas. You can redraw the claws. You can cut and create a claws that way. I think just an idea. Yeah, that will work for now. If I select this face, maybe we can also rotate it. You see, it's like polygon modeling, but it's not really. Okay, we have like a crab-looking kangaroos with a cute mushroom tail. Okay, so originally it's just like this. Yeah, no, you can just model everything inside Blender. It's just the tools. The tools just different, and I quite like just pushing and pulling areas in Plasticity. We can still inset and push this in or out. Yeah, very strange method, but I quite like this. Actually, I like to do this with multiple characters, and I don't know, from here, I don't know, maybe you can bring it back to Blender, and then, I don't know, sculpting some areas. The parts that's like a solid 3D solid modeling parts, you know, it's still, yeah, the parts that's good for 3D solid like this, you know, you can still bring it into Blender and then continue working like this. It's a little bit harder to make inside Blender, I guess, but in Plasticity you can quickly add details. Sometimes, okay, sometimes you can just draw lines like that, and if it's planar, you can just extrude. Let me try. Hit spacebar. Now we are like planar, and I draw these lines. See, Plasticity can do this sort of thing, and then you can just delete the line. design. This line we don't need. Delete. Can we delete this? Cannot. Oh well. Yeah, I guess that's pretty good just for a demo. Very strange method from Skin Modifier. Remember, it's only skin. You can still model it. Tweak it and then export it out, bring it into Plasticity, and then add all the details. If it's like a procedural model, you can sort of transfer it into this model because the topology is the same. It's probably possible at some point, but for now, it's all a little bit manual. Nothing wrong with this. It's kind of fun as well to work this way. Okay, so hopefully you find this useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.